Hello YouTube, I hope everybody's doing great, and this is my video of making my overkill drill press table, and you will see how I made it. Pretty simple, but if you're interested, please do watch the rest. Okay, here's my setup. That's my length indicator to cut the profiles. I did cut two of them. And of course, I made a mistake with the measurement. Too hard to divide 64 by 2. And anyway, it turned out it's going to be 130 and the rest is going to be 34. It's for two different applications and actually turned out to be great because one could be wider and the other one could be narrower. So that's what I'm using. Old saw. Meter saw. I had to look up the name. And yeah, I will not show you while cutting. It's loud and I have no way to hold the phone while cutting. Anyway, this is my setup. Okay, here's just a short segment. This is how I hold this down securely. And this is the cut. It's not factory cut. Obviously they have much better blades, and especially I had a mistake with this saw, that something came loose during cutting, and ever since then it has a very slight you can hear it. I would need to change the bearing in it, which I will do. And but anyway, the sides of these in this project, the sides will be covered anyway, so I just have to clean them out a little bit, and then they will be covered so you won't see them at the end, and so it's good and no problem. On to the next. And this is a teaser where the shorter ones go. That was my table for my drill press, and well, it was too long. I made it this long because I was using it to cut profiles, aluminum profiles, for my CNC mill that I built many years ago. And anyway, it was too big, and this was my crude way of adjusting depth of cut, which obviously didn't give me enough depth, and it wasn't customizable at all. So this will go forward towards the shaft here, and I'm not sure, I might make a cutout so to have more support further back. I'm not sure of it yet, but again, it will be mounted with two length of 20 by 20 profile and that L profile on the edge, so I will have a nice edge. It will not cut me, and then I can put T-nuts in here and mount and clamp down anything that you can imagine. I will use probably wood on. Is this overkill? Of course it is, but I have these profiles for a machine that probably I will never build, because I use the main huge profile on my CNC lathe here. So this was supposed to be a big router, and if it happens, actually these were the plates for the top of the router bed, and I figured I had 6 of these next to each other for the router bed, and I can just use 4 of these longer ones, obviously, instead. And these are 20 millimeters and these are only 15 millimeters, and so it will be even better for me if I do build that. Then I can just buy 4 of the wider ones, the thicker ones, and still build the machine. Anyway, so that was that, what it was for, and I don't need too much towards here length to cut, and yeah, that's why it wasn't bad. If these are only 30 and the other side, the other ones are 35 wide, 34 wide. Anyway, that's the next build after I finish the power hacksaw. Well, I guess once in a while you get lucky. I have these Allen head bolts. Oh, Allen head? I'm Imbus. Anyway, and yeah, I know it looks worse from the bottom. And those two, I thought they're gonna hit the board, but these two in the back, they just cleared the board, so I can tighten it down. And actually, no, I can't. Oh, can I? Oh, yes, I can. I can tighten it down from the bottom. So, guess I got lucky. Otherwise, I don't know what I would do. Find another solution. Anyway, that was that. Okay, I actually did not have to glue this down with hot glue or something. I just tighten it down, and then I can go ahead and slide the profile onto the nuts and then tighten it down from the bottom. And actually on this build again, I have these L profiles, and they will go to the back and the front like this. I think I have to take a little bit a notch out of there. Anyway, I could leave him like this, but it's very sharp and pointy, and by having these over here, it looks more finished and it will protect your fingers. So on these again, I have to drill exactly every 6 centimeters holes, so I can screw those down again by putting nuts in here and using these black screws to tighten it down. And that will also give it again some stability, although once you screw them down from the bottom, this thing is not gonna go anywhere. And I have many points for attachment. And before I screw those in, I will probably leave 1 or 2 nuts in here, so I can use those for you say it, come on, for attaching stuff to the build. And once I have a real shop and not in my room here, I will take all these nice machines, they're old but they work, strip the paint down and paint them nicely, and they will all look nice eventually. Anyway, so now I have to put the other two in, screw them down, and then drill some more holes. So I have finished my deluxe drill press table, and this is what I did. As said, with the profiles front and back, so you won't get cut, no sharp corners. And this is my stop, adjustable, and in case you're wondering, these are GoPro accessories, and these are the whole screw was not long enough, so I did cut down a little bit on the plastic and it turned perfect. And this is my stop. Obviously, I know if you're into this, you will notice it does stick out here, but in this particular case, since I'm cutting 20mm high, drilling 20mm high profiles, it does fit underneath, so it doesn't bother, but I still can use it as an end stop. So I did take some manual measurements and mark them, and with each stop I can turn this around and drill for 2 holes on each profile, and then to have to just adjust that again. My initial thought was having a end stop. Actually, this is the same distance, 60 millimeters, 6 centimeters, as over here. So I thought of I would drill 1 hole and then move it to the next and have a stop here somehow with a nut and a screw, and then drill the next hole. So that would be a possibility too, but it's I think faster this way. So anyway, in case you're wondering why it's not straight, I have it now that the drill bit goes into the void here, and I made my end stop also to not go all the way through, even though I would not have to drill all the way through because I have a recess here. So anyway, now I can just put it over here, and what I used for centering the drill to the profile, I have this 5mm piece of steel. I just chucked it in there. You could do it with a drill as well. Chucked it in and then went down, and then I measured. It just fit in there. It went in there, and then I tightened those screws down. And now, no matter where I move it along, it's always the same center, 10mm into the profile. And to get the exact, since I have it here marked with a pencil, I used tab, yes, I think it's tab, and put that in, and then I had a really sharp point to pinpoint it exactly where I need. If I use a drill, the drill's bottom is not pointy enough to do that, and so that's what I use just as a reference if you wanna do something like this, so you know. And what I actually like about the whole slots here, I can just, when I drill something, move the shavings into the holes, and that way I have a smooth surface and it won't scratch the aluminum. In that particular case, it will be on the bottom, so it wouldn't matter if it would scratch, but for any other purposes, and they would just go in there. If you have a regular table with full surface, and then you have the T-slots on both sides, whatever you're drilling, you have to clear the dust or the metal shavings. Woodworking is not that a problem, but on metal it is. So that's, I think it's a big benefit. I was thinking of covering these slots, but I won't. I don't need to, and I can just easily put the shavings in between, and once I'm done I can just use my vacuum cleaner and clean the table. So now, without further ado, let me pause it, put it on a tripod, and drill some holes. Okay, now that it's there, I already drilled 1 hole, so all I have to turn it around, move it here, and I have the same exact spot, and then I can just drill. And what I was gonna say something else. I forgot. Oh, in case you're wondering, I have both hands here. I don't know if you see it in the video. Well, one is on the drill. I have a foot switch that I turn on and off the drill, which is really super convenient. So I showed it in a video, and it really makes a huge difference. So anyway, that was that. Now I can just take this, put it over here, drill the hole. I guess I didn't tighten it down all the way. this out. Put it over there. Go again. That's just the end of the drilling. Turn it around. Move it on here. And drill and so on, and then I can adjust the stop and do the rest of the holes, which I won't need to show you on camera, I guess. One other thing I want to say, oh, I can also just hold it here or use like clamps and just clamp this down here, and then I could do it with just using the, well, pulling the handle. What is called handle? Yeah. So that would be another possibility. Anyway, I did this to do that, and it's just snowballing. But I want to do this for a long time, and I'm very glad I finally did. Aluminum profiles. I know it's overkill, but first I don't have nice wood to do it on wood. And T-slots that you can buy, they're expensive too. They're not that cheap if you order them, and I didn't want to order from AliExpress because most likely they will arrive banged up, and then it's no good. So it's a delicate piece, aluminum. It should be straight. I don't want it to arrive scratched or dinged up or whatever. That's why I went this way, this solution. But I'm glad I did, because I'm working mostly on aluminum profiles, and this is just super convenient for me. And with all the slots here, I can screw down any piece that I'm working or drilling. And where are my other pieces that I normally drill? I can find them right now. But anyway, I like this. So on to the next segment. Okay, so last night I had the idea of doing this LED mod. I do have some LEDs up here, which are very old and very weak white LEDs, and I wanted to do something like this. And I had this white strip of LED lights and it was the perfect length. It was not too long, not too short, and I just attached a wire to it, put it in here. I did cut a piece of white plastic, diffused plastic, to cover the front, so no metal shavings will go inside. And this is how it turned out. Of course it's not optimal, but it's better than nothing, and I might still upgrade this light on top of it. So here I have my end stop, and I know normally you would have knobs, but if I put knobs here I cannot flip it up anymore, and that's why I made it like this. It doesn't bother me. And here are GoPro screws that I shortened the plastic so the screws get longer, and that's what I use for adjusting this anywhere I want, in any angle if I need an angle, and then I can just tighten it down. And by loosening the screws I can make it a stop, which I did for, I showed you drilling the 20 by 20 profiles. And so this is it. I wanted to show you also on the bottom. So I just used the spare wood I had. It was a plate wood that I used on my CNC mill, and I screwed the profiles from the bottom and screwed down the piece of wood. I was gonna initially cut the black brown wood that I had, but it was not straight anymore, and this just works. And as I mentioned before, here are the L profiles just with 2 screws, so I can later on put some T-nuts in here and then use some clamps to also be able to clamp down the workpiece that I'm cutting. And this is it. Pretty simple, but it works for me. And this is it. So if you would like to see more videos like this, please do hit the subscribe and notification button. And you can also support me by my items that you can buy on my Tinder store, Patreon, PayPal, or the thanks button below the video. Thanks and take care, everybody.